Howdy folks, Dr. Stephen Lane here, back again with another Peaks Challenge Falls Creek training video. This one is all about the training programs. The training plans you can find at the Bicycle Network website as a PDF. You can download them there, or you can find them on Training Peaks. In this video, I'm going to run you through how to best work with those training plans. So what I'm going to do is do some screen captures and talk you through it on how to get them all up and running and the best way for you to be able to tackle the program starting on the 22nd of November. Okay folks, so here we are at the Bicycle Network website where you can find the training programs and some of the other event information. What I've got here is a low, an intermediate and a high volume program. It's up to you to choose which one you'd like to do. And of course, it's self-explanatory. The lower the volume, the less amount of hours there are each week that you need to try and complete. It doesn't have to be specific. Remember, a training plan isn't necessarily a science. There's more of an art to it. The goal for Three Peaks, where it's pretty simple, it's a big long event and it requires a decent amount of endurance. Your goal leading up to that event is essentially to ride your bike as much as you possibly can. And also have the right recovery. So the simple underlying rule across all programs is ride as much as you possibly can, make the most of your valuable time around work and family. So what we have here is the example of the PDF program for the low volume program. This one is 7 to 15 hours in duration. So 15 hours is the most time you'll need to dedicate to a week in training, which is in the third block of training. For the intermediate program, it's between 9 and 17 hours. So 17 hours is the biggest week leading up to the event. And then the high volume program goes up to 23 hours leading up to the event. So if I go back to the low volume program, what you can see is we've got 16 weeks in total and it's broken up into four 4-week blocks. The next part included in the training program is your training zones and some of the terminology I used during the program. This is all, your training zones are all either heart rate based, power based, or even just your perceived exertion if you don't like using the metrics. Of course, the first week we've got a good old 20-minute test to try and figure out what those training zones are based around heart rate or power. And then the rest of the week is set up pretty simply. Generally with the low volume program, you've got 2 days off during the week. You've got a couple of training sessions midweek, and then you've got a longer ride on the weekend. And look, those weekend rides are always best done trying to get out to some hills if you can. And if you've got time to ride both days, Saturday and Sunday, I've only got, say, a 1 hour ride in on most Sundays, I believe. If you've got more time, always try and get more in. So the program is pretty simple, straightforward, and set up for everybody to understand. A good example for the first block is we've got a good strength focus where there's lots of efforts at a lower cadence to build up some fatigue resistance in the legs. And then we get out on the weekends for a slightly longer ride where we incorporate some strength efforts as well. If I scoot through the plan and go to an example of, where are we up to? Let's go week 10. Let's go week 12. By week 11 or 12, you should be feeling pretty fit if you've been consistent. In this section of the program, in that third block, it's all about increasing that functional threshold power. That is all about how fast you're going to be able to ride up those hills at a nice sustainable pace, because we always ride a little bit under that threshold power up the hills. We're up to a decent volume for the week now, and our rides are getting longer. If you go through to where we're getting close to the event, I start putting some big rides in. And we're up to, if you're going to ride target 13 hours for the day, I would suggest you want to do about 75% of that as your biggest training ride. So you're looking at about 8 to 9 hour long ride, so you can practice your nutrition, you can make sure that your bike's working for that long, that your legs work while you're on the bike for that long. There's lots of things to test out leading up to the event, and the programs give you that opportunity. So folks, that is the PDF programs. Pretty simple. All you got to do is print it out, stick it on the fridge, wake up in the morning and see what you got to do, and you're good to go. What I'll do now is show you the Training Peaks version, which is a little bit more dynamic than the PDFs. Okay folks, so I am now on the Training Peaks website. Now if you haven't used this before, Training Peaks is a platform where you can upload all of your ride data. It's kind of like Strava, but it's essentially for coaches like myself to be able to put training programs in for athletes. It's a great resource to be able to upload your rides and analyze to see, what power you're doing up climbs and things like that. But it also lets me upload training plans for you to purchase. So you've got a dynamic program that you can have in a calendar, upload all of your rides, see that fitness CTL score going up and things like that. So there's lots of resources about Training Peaks to learn more, but I'm just going to show you where these programs are. So if you go into the training store, you'll find it on the Peaks website. Type in 2022 Peaks Challenge and it should bring the programs up. Made by yours truly, that's me from Human Performance Technologies. All 3 programs are available, the low, the intermediate and the high volume pram. What you see in these plans is a bit of a description about the plan itself, and then you have the plans all ready to go for you. This just gives you an example. These plans are exactly the same as in the PDF, so if I'm not giving you enough info just with an example of week 1 to week 13, then look at the PDFs and you'll see what we got to do. The great thing about Training Peaks is it allows me to integrate some erg sessions for you. So if you're the type of person that spent all winter inside on the trainer on Zwift, doing lots of these structured workouts where you just hit start and you've just got to hang on for dear life and get through it, then Training Peaks program is going to be for you because it has got all of these smart ergo sessions built in. Now keep in mind, not every single day is a smart ergo session. Most of the midweek ones are, but the easier rides midweek, like a recovery ride, is going to be just a simple coffee shop ride, go for a roll. You can still do it on Zwift if you like. Of course, the Saturday sessions or Sunday sessions where you get outside, it's a big long ride. I'd rather see you get outside and do it outside if you can. If you are stuck inside, you can still look at the main set and adapt it to the trainer and sit on there for as long as you can stand. Maybe 2 to 3 hours instead of a 6-hour ride if it's pouring with rain. But anyway, Training Peaks is great. It does give you the option to be able to upload your data and see how you're tracking. It's a great resource. All right, folks, that is it for now. I'm going to cut back to my outro and I'll see you there. Now remember to also join the Bicycle Network Strava group. On that, you will get all the info you need for any upcoming training rides, either outdoors or indoors on Zwift. At the moment, there's not too many training rides planned. It's pretty hard to do given the current state of lockdowns at the moment. But definitely by the time the training plans kick off, we will have some more dates for those up ready to go. Now there are some other resources up from previous years, either up on YouTube or on the Bicycle Network website. There's some great information that I've done about nutrition for the day. There's some great information about pacing for the day and potentially figuring out what group or wave leaders you should try and stick with on the day based upon your ability. Check those ones out. I'll link to these in the description below. On the Bicycle Network website, I've also got a couple of articles about easing into these training programs and coming out of winter, transitioning into trying to get some base fitness. There's also some ones there about riding with COVID and if you're stuck inside and what to do. And there's another one there about your training zones specifically, because they're pretty important when it comes to applying these training programs. Alright folks, that's about it for this video. So this one's been through where to find the training programs and how to get them ready to go starting on the 22nd of November. Remember, I've got a big library now of these training videos, so go back through and watch the previous ones. There's lots of good information in there as well. If you've got any questions about anything, feel free to shoot me either a comment on a video or shoot me an email. I'll try and do my best to answer all of those. Until then, folks, ride safe. See you soon. Bye.